Have you ever told one small lie that grew wings, wore wedding gown, and started collecting gifts? No? Then you need to meet Ramota. Sit tight, grab your chin-chin, because this story will make you laugh, shout, and maybe hold your phone tighter so it doesn't fall. A long time ago, in the noisy city of Mushin, there lived a woman called Ramota Rashidat Johnson. But everybody in her streets called her Madam CEO. Now, this is not because she owned a company or because she had employees. No. But this was because she told lies so confidently that even her mirror believed them. Ramota was a tailor by day, but she was an internet motivational speaker by night. She lived in a hot one-room apartment in a face me I face you house at the back of number 14 Bamidele Street, where the landlord's goats moved around freely and the tenants had a WhatsApp group just to fight over water. But none of that concerned Ramota. In her own mind, she was bigger than her environment. Every day, she stood in front of her dusty mirror and said, "My enemies will not recognize me this year. In Jesus' name, amen." She would tie a scarf, wear lipstick, and spray enough perfume to confuse mosquitoes before going live on Instagram. "Good morning, my rich queens," she would say. She always began with a British-American Ibadan accent that sounded like three people were talking at once. "Good morning, my rich queens. Today, I want to talk about alignment and affluence. If you're still collecting tea from man, you're not my audience. Please, scroll up, respectfully." Meanwhile, the ring light she was using was held together with masking tape. Her tripod was a stack of 4 Nindo tins, and her neighbor's baby was crying loudly in the background. Sometimes, the lights would go off during her live, and she would just say, "That was the universe reminding me to pause. Please drop stars if you can hear me." This was her lifestyle. She had only 10,000 followers, but she followed 20,000 people. Meanwhile, her bio read like she owned the whole of Dubai. CEO vibes only. He proposed while I was steaming lace. Billionaire wife loading. What people never knew was that Ramota bought the engagement ring herself. She bought it 2.5 from Yabao. She wore it like pure diamond. Ramota's whole life was on credit. Everything was borrowed. Her wig was borrowed. The heels she posed with was borrowed. Even the Ankara she wore for one photo shoot was from a customer's order that she told, "Come back next week, your fabric has not arrived, ma." Ramota could borrow you your own thing. Her boss at the shop, Madam Bisola, had already warned her severally. "Ramota, if you borrow one more lace that doesn't belong to you in this shop, I will remove your sewing machine and give it to my dog." Ramota would just laugh and say, "Mommy B, now, don't be angry. I'm branding, oh. You see this content, that is what people love. This is pure content. Customers love people that package well. You don't understand?" Ramota was not only lying, she was very loud and very bold. She would insult any woman in the compound who looked too humble. One time she saw her neighbor washing her husband's clothes in the corridor, and she shouted loud enough for the next street to hear her. "Some of you will carry husband on your head like basket and still cry that you are not progressing. You will wash boxers, you will cook stew, you will even massage his foot. And he's still cheating on you with someone that uses Vaseline as perfume. God forbid, oh. She would return to her room, close the door and post on her WhatsApp status, "Never lose your crown while kneeling for a clown." What people didn't see was that Ramota was tired. This life was exhausting her. Her debts were choking her neck like tight braids. She owed the POS girl downstairs. She owed her boss the customer's lace she borrowed that she burnt. She owed her best friend her ring light. She was owing everybody left, right and center. That night, Ramota did not sleep. She tossed and turned on her narrow mattress like akara frying inside a hot pan. Her debts were dancing in her head. The POS girl, the lace and all of it. By 14:13 a.m., she sat up and stared into the mirror. The same mirror that had seen her laugh, lie and cry. And she whispered to herself, "Ramota, if you don't do something fast, these lies will kill you before poverty does." She rubbed her eyes and sat on the floor like a woman planning robbery. But what came to her mind was even worse. Something no slave queen had ever done before. Plan her own fake wedding. Yes, a wedding, but not for love, obviously. It would be purely for gifts and cash. All she needed was one big, believable celebration so that people would rush in with envelopes, cash, coolers, wrappers, gas cookers, or even Oraimo power banks. She would sell everything off and pay off her debts, and she can finally breathe. By morning, Ramota had already ironed her idea into a plan. She took her phone and used her data, the last 200 naira inside her PalmPay account, to message the only person that fits the job, Desmond. She had seen him online before. He is an upcoming actor with a wicked jawline and useless morals. He was always playing area boy 2 or groom's friend at a reception in low-budget skits. Ramota messaged him like a proper scammer. "Hi Desmond, I have a clean business proposal for you. Very legal, very sharp. Can you wear a suit?" Desmond replied almost immediately, "Oh yes, I can. Black or blue?" "Black," she replied, smiling. They met that evening at a pepper soup joint at Ojuwoye. Ramota wore one striped top and Desmond came late, but he ordered 2 wraps of fufu without shame. Ramota didn't waste time at all. She said, "Look, I'm not here for a relationship. I need you to pretend you're my husband, but just for one day. And that will be our wedding day." Desmond was biting his meat at this time, and he paused while chewing. "Wait, oh, like real wedding?" "No now, fake wedding. But real location, real guests, real gifts, real cash. And your role is simple. Come, smile, hold my waist, collect bride price and disappear." He blinked like someone who just swallowed bone. "So no family?" "You dey hear me say fake, you dey ask me family. Now only us go dey. Every other person will think it's real, but you know, we are the only ones that know about this." He started laughing. "Okay, oh, how much will you pay me?" 50k and take away," Ramota replied. "No, nah. 200k and cake," Desmond bargained. 150k and small rice, final offer. Throw in sunglasses there and I'll take it," Desmond said. Deal. They shook hands across the table like 2 politicians agreeing to scam the public. From that moment, Ramota became a bride. She went to Oshodi to rent a wedding gown from an old modeling store. The gown was off-white with a brownish tint that could confuse camera lens. But she told the woman, "Once I use filter, Even the angels will not recognize this gown. She went ahead to hire one church MC for free because he liked her. She borrowed plates from her compound and asked Mama Confidence to cook jollof rice for her. The entire plan was held together by boldness, lies, and fake promises. She went ahead to download wedding hashtags. Hashtag Desmond 2025. From thread to throne. Hashtag Love with Sense. She photoshopped herself into a magazine cover and posted, "He saw me at my sewing machine and said, 'That's my wife.'" And then gifts began to pour in. Somebody promised her 5 yards of George wrapper. Another one said she would bring a full sack of rice. One auntie sent her 15,000 naira cash. Ramota walked through the compound with new style in her step. She added extra echo to her laugh. Even the landlord knew something was different, even though she was owing him rent. But deep in her chest, her heart was doing press up with fear. She knew that this thing she was cooking could either sweeten her life or burn her to ashes completely. So by the morning of the wedding, Ramota had become something else. She woke up like a queen on coronation day, stretching her legs and smiling at the ceiling like she was married to destiny itself. From her small window, she could already see Mama Confidence arranging chairs outside. On the other side was DJ Blessing, testing her Bluetooth speaker with one loud gospel remix that kept everyone shouting, "Chukwe EBUBE," every 5 seconds. Ramota adjusted her scarf, looked at herself in the mirror and whispered, "Today not today. Whether na lie or not, gifts must enter and I must blow." Everything was set. In her head, this was not just a wedding. It was a grand solution to all her problems. All the debts that were choking her throat would be settled after this event once and for all. All she needed was crowd, gifts, and lots of envelopes. The plan was tight. She had done her homework. The first was the Benz. One picture with the Benz had helped her gather serious respect online. It wasn't hers, of course. It was her cousin, Kenny, who worked with a Yoruba film crew that was shooting at Ikeja. One of the actors was using a white Benz for that scene. So Kenny called her 2 days before the wedding and said, "If you fit come quick, take picture with this Benz and vanish before Oga go catch us." Fiam! That was how Ramota and Desmond had rushed there like 2 stray cats. She wore her borrowed lace, held Desmond's arms and posed beside the Benz like it came with her bride price. Desmond was even pretending to open the door like one real gentleman. She posted it that evening with the caption, "He said I deserve soft life and soft ride. Mushing to Maldives, baby." People went mad. Her comment section caught fire. That Benz alone, it made 3 people send her money unprovoked. One auntie said she would bring her standing fan to the wedding. Someone else promised her new curtains. Another woman supported the ministry with 5,000 naira. And she wrote it, "Support for small chops." Then there was the baby. Yes, the baby. Ramota wanted the world to believe her marriage was not only sweet, but fruitful. So she carried her cousin Tolu's 1-year-old daughter, Praise, and dressed her in white lace. She wrapped her like wedding cake and held her for one picture with Desmond, who awkwardly placed one hand on the baby's back and smiled. Ramota posted the picture and wrote, "This love gave me peace, purpose, and praise. A family born of grace." People cried online. Some commented, "God, I see what you are doing for others." Only if they knew. But the real work happened offline. She had personally gone round her street, inviting everyone with her shoulders raised high. She walked door to door, laughing too hard, shouting at neighbors, "If you miss this wedding, you will miss out on history." Then came the D-Day. Desmond arrived that afternoon wearing a shiny kaftan. His sunglasses were big and his confidence was fake. The wedding started like small miracle. The MC started shouting like his life depended on it. "Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to witness love that started with needle and thread and ended with ring and bends." People clapped. Jollof rice was steaming. Envelopes were dropping. Phone cameras were blinking. Chakam, chakam. Ramota danced in like Nollywood royalty. Her gown was slightly stained, but her smile was bright. She bathed herself with perfume twice before walking into the venue. Everything looked perfect, but the devil was waiting at the gate. Just as the MC was about to announce first kiss, one man with bald head, fat body, and plenty anger entered the compound. "Who brought this Benz here?" Everyone turned in surprise. "That's white Benz. Now who carry and come here?" he shouted, marching forward. DJ Blessing pointed proudly. "It's the groom's car, sir." The man laughed like a mad person. "Groom? This Benz is the property of Lagos Film House. We're using it to shoot a movie. We tracked it to this place, so that must make you a big thief. You will hear from me." He walked to Desmond, put his hand in his pocket, took his car key and went straight to the car, opened it with his own spare key and drove off. The music stopped. The dancing paused. Ramota's smile melted like butter on fire. Then another voice came. "Ramota, is that my ashoke you're wearing?" One angry woman from down the street stormed in with rubber slippers and so much power. "You told me you were still sewing it, that I should give you 1 week. Now you're wearing it for your wedding? You know they fear God, Ramota." Ramota turned slowly. "Auntie B, Auntie Blessing, please. It's not what you think. Shut up your teeth." People started whispering. Some pulled out their phones and started recording. Desmond looked around and saw this as his cue to act. He leaned towards Ramota and whispered, "I need to use the restroom." And then he left, but he never returned. When Desmond disappeared, the basket of envelopes, Ramota's iPhone, and the top layer of the wedding cake disappeared with him. Everything collapsed. Guests began to pack up and leave. The fake wedding was dissolving with speed. As if that wasn't enough, the Benz owner returned with police officers. "There they are. Oya, officers, arrest them." "Where is your stupid husband?" he asked Ramota, who was already shaking with fear. 2 policemen followed behind immediately. "You are under arrest for public disturbance, fraudulent gathering, and most importantly, theft." Ramota looked around. The hall was empty. She sat down slowly in her gown. She was shaking, but she didn't cry because she more or less saw it coming. She just sat there like someone who had been cooked by karma and served cold to disgrace. That was how Ramota's wedding ended though. Not with "you may kiss the bride," but with "Madam, Oya, enter van." The van didn't wait for her to change out of the gown she was wearing. The ashoke that wasn't hers. They just packed her like extra jollof cooler and drove her straight to the nearest police station, with her gele sliding to one side and her makeup already dissolving like ice cream. She sat beside a woman who had been arrested for fighting over food and another one who stole bread from a supermarket. Nobody spoke to her, not even the police officers. They simply opened the small cell gate, pointed to a plastic chair and pushed her in, locked it behind her like they were closing a bad decision. She sat there for hours. No phone, no food, no idea what time it was. Just the echo of her own heartbeat and the memory of all the bad decisions she has taken in life. The shame was not loud. It was quiet, but it was very heavy. This wasn't the kind of disgrace that made you shout or argue. This was the one that made you sit down and think about all the nonsense you have been doing in your life. By the time they released her that evening, after Mama Confidence bailed her with plenty abeg, Ramota's feet were dusty, her clothes were scattered, and her voice was gone. She walked back to the street slowly, carrying her disgrace like polythene bag. People spoke in whispers. A few kids pointed at her and laughed. When she reached her door, she found her bags outside. Her rent had truly expired, and the landlord wasn't having it anymore. Mama Confidence was already waiting. I told your younger sister to bring your things from inside because a landlord wanted to carry them. You can stay with me for some time. But Ramota, no drama, no more. Ramota didn't argue, she didn't talk, she just nodded and entered. That night, she slept on a mat beside Mama Confidence's grandchildren. There was no ring light, no Instagram, and no phone. Just one ceiling fan making noise and the kids snoring like spoiled generators. She knew she had hit rock bottom. By morning, the news had gone full nationwide. Somebody posted clips from the wedding where Desmond was dancing, when the Benz was being driven away and the police was carrying Ramota. They captioned it, "When CEO lies too much and NEPA carry lights." Her followers dropped. Her old customers blocked her. Even the wig vendor removed her from the broadcast list. After grieving her stupidity for 2 days, she decided to go back to Madam Bisola's shop. When she got there, she stood by the door and bent her head and lowered her voice and said, "Mommy B, I fit come help for inside, abeg. I go dey pay you small ma, abeg." Madam Bisola didn't even look up from her sewing machine. But after Ramota stood there for a while, begging and pleading, she looked up and said, "Ramota, you go do like person wey get sense?" "Yes ma, I will try my best ma." "Ramota, you won't wear my customers' clothes again?" "No, I don't even have time to snap picture again ma." "Oya, enter," she told her. "Just don't talk nonsense and be on your best behavior." And that was how Ramota returned as one small tailor girl with humbled pride. In the weeks that followed, she deleted all her fake posts. All the "he said I deserve a soft ride and he proposed while I was steaming lace." She deleted all of those, and then she started posting real pictures of when she was hemming a blouse, threading needle, patching trouser, simple real life content that was meant to show her work to the world and make people connect better with her. She changed her bio from global women's coach to tailor in the making. And people noticed. People always notice. Slowly, a few customers started coming back. One madam sent clothes for baby dedication. Another asked for a simple blouse. Her first real payment came with a message: "I respect your courage. I still believe in you." Ramota sat on her mat that night, held the 5,000 naira transfer receipt like gold, and smiled for real. Not to pepper anyone, just for herself. She was happy to have received an honest payment that came with peace of mind and assurance that she was on the right track. Meanwhile, Desmond thought he had escaped. After the wedding scattered, he vanished with the cake and the envelopes. He moved to another part of town and changed his Instagram name to @Desi the director. And then he started posting clips from the fake wedding like it was his original skit content. He turned the whole thing into a mini series. How I Married a Stranger for 24 hours. And he used the wedding clips as content. He edited it, added background music, typed in some fake subtitles and uploaded the first episode. Well, it went viral. People laughed, people shared, brands reached out. One startup even asked him to be a content ambassador for them. Desmond was finally eating the fame he had never cooked. The problem was, he forgot that the internet never forgets. Because while Desmond was flying high, someone from Ramota's compound found the video and posted a comment. "This girl is not an actress, so you actually disgraced her for clout and stole her money and gifts on top of it." That comment opened the floodgates. Another woman said, "So this was not acting, this was real life scam wedding? Wow, may what is coming for you locate you sharp sharp." Within 48 hours, the tone changed. His comments turned, brands started withdrawing. Desmond, in his bid to salvage whatever was left of his brand, tried to delete comments and block people. But it was too late already. The damage was already in motion. He received one message that made him shiver. "We will be serving you letters soon for copyright, impersonation, fraud, defamation, and robbery. It's a good thing your mouth is too sharp. It will help you defend yourself in court." Desmond was panicking at this point. Then he posted, "Taking a break for my mental health," but nobody cared. His fame shrank, his account dried up, and in his bid to run into another city, the police showed up on his doorsteps and took him away. Meanwhile, in motion, Ramota was still folding wrappers and stitching her destiny back up. This time around, there was no fake accent, just clean work, sharp dedication, and calm spirit. She stopped trying to be noticed. Her captions now revolved around her small business real hustle. Her confidence was coming back gradually, and this time it was real. Customers began to show up little by little. Her name stopped being used for gossip. Instead, people started referring her and saying, "She sabi so sha, and she don dey humble." Even Madam Bisola started showing her small respect and using her as an example. "You see Ramota, she nearly used fake wedding to finish her life, but she bounced back. You no fit even hold scissors well." Ramota started feeling her confidence coming back little by little. And that evening, as she stood in front of her mirror, this time the mirror didn't lie. It showed her a woman who had failed, fallen, been mocked, arrested, laughed at, but was still standing. And for that, she was more than grateful. Then a thought came to her mind. She decided to share her story, to help encourage anybody that is going through what she went through, to encourage young people to avoid fake life by all means. So she took her phone and started recording. "My name is Ramota. I lied for years, forming and faking everything. I was a big fan of fake it till you make it. I even had a fake wedding. I borrowed everything just to measure up and to prove to people who did not even care about me that I was that girl. But poverty and pride nearly finished me, so I've learnt my lesson. I'm starting again. This is my real life, my real hustle. If you're struggling too, don't fake it, fix it, one stitch at a time. Believe in yourself, because if I can, you can too. I'll be rooting for you." When she was done, she almost didn't post it though. But something in her heart whispered, "Try first and see." So she hit send and went to sleep. By morning, the video had about 300 views, and that evening, it was over 5,000 views. By the next week, it had hit 30k views. People started commenting, admiring her courage and encouraging her not to give up. You've got this, girl. This is what we need to see online. Real life. Thank you for showing us it's okay to start again. A woman from Canada even sent her a voice note crying, saying she hadn't sewn in 5 years because shame was killing her. But after she saw Ramota's video, she decided to pick up her sewing again. A girl from Kaduna sent her 8k and said, "This is me saying thank you. Thank you for helping me get back on track." The new Ramota didn't brag. She just took the money and appreciated her politely. Next, she started sharing sewing tips, showing her handwork more, posting behind the scenes, the right and the wrongs of it, the raw behind the scene, and people loved it. They said it made them feel normal and seen. Her followers grew. This time, it was real people sharing the same real stories and hustling skills, a real community. Her online page became a small movement. Girls started tagging her to their own stories. Some brands started reaching out. Not big brands though, just small tailoring supply shops. They asked her to test Ankara, review their tape rolls, wear their aprons, and just like that, Ramota picked up. And this time, she wasn't broke. She was working and she was seeing her money. Little and little droplets, but it was coming. One day, a local NGO sent her a message. "We love your story. Would you be willing to teach 10 teenage girls basic tailoring for 3 weekends? We'll pay you and we'll cover for the materials and everything." Ramota didn't think twice. She said yes. She got prepared, and for the first time in her life, she taught without pretending to be bigger than she was. On the 3rd weekend after class, one of the girls asked her, "Auntie Ramota, what made you change?" And she smiled and said, "Because I nearly buried myself with lie. And when the fake love cleared, nobody came to carry my shame. I had to sew my dignity back myself with needle and truth." And that was how Ramota went from being a big liar to truly inspiring young ladies to be proud in their honest little hustles. Okay, Naya Padis, we have come to the end of today's story. I know this one made you laugh, but I want to hear, what are the moral lessons you picked from the story? As for me, I want to say that no matter how tempting it feels to fake a good life, nothing beats the peace of mind of a real life. Pretending will only delay your breakthrough and attract more problems for you, the ones you never budgeted for. So instead of borrowing to impress people who don't even care, use that energy to build quietly, so that when you finally shine, let it be truth that lights the way, not lies, not filters, and definitely not a fake Benz. I want to say thank you all for your unwavering support. Okay, I am so grateful, and I would appreciate it even better if you subscribe to this channel. A lot of our viewers are not even subscribed. Please kindly click the subscribe button and like this video, because the more you like it, the more YouTube pushes it out to other people so that they will learn and, be entertained from this story. So, God bless you as you do that. You are the real MVP Paddy. Remember, don't let anyone dim your shine. Signing out now. Until next time. Bye.